This video will describe some topics we covered in class in relation to unpaid work, specifically unpaid and low-paying work in North America, by reviewing content in readings and discussing the short video from the video list we received called "I Have 3 Degrees, Why Am I Delivering Your Lunch?" When beginning the course, I was not aware of what unpaid work was versus paid work, other than the obvious that one has a paycheck and one does not. The topic of unpaid work was first introduced to us through unpaid care work that women were involved in from the feminist point of view. I have come to the definition that unpaid care work is essentially cooking, cleaning, and bearing and caring for children. We first were introduced to this in class, in which we discussed how women feel more of a responsibility to completing household care, or the responsibility simply falls on them more so than their husband. We talked a lot about unpaid work and unpaid care work as if they meant the same thing, but I came across a video on our video list that describes unpaid co-ops and other opportunities that are not volunteer work and is for a company that will teach the individual professional skills. We will now define the 3 types of unpaid work as told by Butler, who primarily wrote about non-paid work. He first describes direct unpaid work as an activity that directly relates to the final product or service, such as getting the soil ready for harvest. The regions he wrote about, this task was mainly done by women and they were not paid for it. The second type he defines is indirect work, such as feeding the men who are doing the crop work. Lastly, he defines work in the home, which is what we have come to know as care work, as the third type of unpaid work. Feminist economics says that unpaid care work supports the private sector by lowering the costs that employers must sustain in order to maintain employees and their families, and supports the public sector by offering services such as childcare. Unpaid work, such as co-op, benefits the economy because it provides skills for young people to enter the workforce with previous knowledge without companies having to invest capital into this individual. So for unpaid care work, a policy that the government could implement to show that this is a priority and compensate those who do unpaid care work is to treat it as a public good. To do this, there must be conversations about care work so that care work is no longer financed through families and communities and is financed as a public good. A policy must be in place either to finance unpaid work so that those who do it are compensated, or the more likely option is to treat care work as applicable skills that can be used to apply to jobs. The video about unpaid work says that young people can't participate in the economy due to lack of capital and taking whatever work they can get, but companies are reluctant to pay someone if they can get interns to do the work for free. A policy the video suggests is that unpaid work such as internships be banned altogether and have a minimum wage paycheck associated with the position. Another alternative would be to guarantee a job at the company once the internship is completed. Both options may limit the number of internships available to people. To conclude, I would like to refer to the purple graphic in the middle of the screen. This is a stat for the United States for the years 2003 to 2013, and it shows that in developed regions, women spend approximately 4 hours a day on unpaid care work, whereas men spend approximately 2 hours per day on average on unpaid care work. The stat is alarming, especially considering that these individuals usually work the standard 8-hour workday, if not longer. This course has educated me on the importance of unpaid care work and unpaid work, as well as allowed me to reflect on how our policymakers can ensure that the importance of these types of work is regarded in the economy as valued.